Hi, this is Destin. I've got Jazzi with me, and welcome to the second episode of Behind Closed Doors, Self-Love Unfiltered.
Yeah. What she said. I mean, it's kind of relevant to today and just the whole past week. I'm coming on as an editor. Studio 323.
That blew up in there. I was like, oh my God. All kinds of comments and likes and stuff.
Guys were hyping me up. I'm so pumped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone was like, hell yeah, Jazzi.
Yeah, I'm pumped about it.
I feel like everyone in the group knows who you are. Like, I mean, you've been there since the freaking beginning, and usually if it's someone posting, it's me or you. And then you comment on every single thing that's posted. If it's not a GIF, then you're actually like saying something.
I love a good GIF. Like, I think they're just like so good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I try really hard because I feel like you've always supported me in like my business, and so I feel like that's the least I can do is support like the group. And it's just when, as a stay-at-home mom, it's like that's my girl game. You know, that's where I get to talk to other girls. So yeah. I am, but I'm super pumped, and I was really happy with the engagement on that post as well. Thanks for posting it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, as somebody getting their images taken, that's what draws me to you, is that you are different. Like I follow a lot of different boudoir pages. I've worked with a lot of different boudoir photographers, and you just have carved out your own space in the boudoir like world.
Thank
and
you.
And I mean, no shade to any of the other photographers I've worked with in the past, but you're the best.
Aww,
you know? So,
thank you.
But that being said, that kind of, I think that's like delve into the topic of there's not going to be, you know, just like different people are going to like different makeup artists in their style. Different people are going to like different photographers in their style.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I both have said like, we're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. But you sure are my cup of tea, and you're talented and great. And I think everybody should see you.
Some people like chocolate, some people like vanilla. I am very much more on the chocolate side of things.
Yes.
Which most of the clientele that end up messaging me or having those consultation phone calls, the first thing they bring up is, your images are a little more spicy, and I like how they're not bright and airy like most photographers are. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
And there are other dark and moody photographers out there, but mine definitely has just a little more spice added to it.
I think if you put like a bunch of different photographers' images like in a lineup, I could pick yours out 10 out of 10 times. You know what I'm saying?
I get told that a lot, and I guess because I'm the photographer and we all are our own self-critics, that I cannot see that for myself. But I know it's true because you tell me, my husband tells me, clients tell me, they'll be scrolling and they're like, oh, that's one of Destin's images. I've had other photographers tell me that.
Yeah.
So that is very reassuring and makes me feel good because I'm like, oh, good. Because I see other photographers. I'm like, oh, I know whose work that is just by looking at it. And it's validation, and I like it.
Yeah.
Finding that person that fits you, I think it's important, and maybe even go old school and get some pen and paper, or I guess take notes on your phone, but think about what it is that you're wanting to capture in your boudoir shoot. If you're wanting something more fun and flirty, or if you're wanting to dive deeper into something more saucy, spicy, I think you should write down what it is you're looking for, and then you can start looking for different boudoir photographers.
Mm-hmm.
I would say make sure that the person you're looking at and speaking to, you make sure that they are actually a valid photographer. And what I mean by that is see if they have a website, see their portfolio, talk to them on the phone, because there are lots of shady people out there who use other photographers' images, and they will pose, even make websites, pose as a valid photographer, and they're scamming people out of money. So it's very important, I feel like, to actually get on the phone and talk with someone, and maybe even look at reviews and reach out and see if you know anyone who is...
Or referrals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that you can see who's actually shot with this person, that kind of thing. I get asked a lot, hey, do you take Cash App? I do not take Cash App. Not that there's anything wrong with Cash App.
I love Cash App.
Not throwing shade on them. But being a legal, actual business, I run everything through Square, and it keeps track of my sales, my refunds. It keeps all of it, so that when it comes tax season, then I have it all in one source. And then, I mean, they now have the option to where I can click Cash App. So if they have funds in a Cash App, it'll pay my Square.
Oh,
They
cool. I
literally
didn't know
just
that.
started doing that. So now when someone says they have Cash App, I can turn on that feature and they can pay my Square using the Cash App.
That's sick.
So that's pretty cool.
You were talking about photographers, like, and how there's some fake people out there, which, and like, when you say pick up the phone, you mean like actual human, a voice.
Yes.
Not just texting. And this just kind of made me like a little squirrely brain, but I remember the first time one of your images got stolen. And
It was of you.
It was of me. And you were like, so you was like, you were kind of annoyed that it got stolen, but you're also like, one of my images got stolen.
Yeah, I made it. This means I made it, right?
I'm huge.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was like, your image was stolen, Jazzi. Oh my God, we made it.
that was a good day in Studio 3 history.
Yeah, I had Googled neon shoots or something like that, and it showed up in Google with another man's name, and I was like, the fuck? That's my picture.
That's my girl. That's my picture. What is this? Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, people do absolutely like take people's work and run with it, and not all photographers are created equal, and you're not going to get a whole lot of. There's just not a lot of Destins out there, and then not like Studio 323s out there for sure. By the way, with the new studio space, are we changing the name?
Hell no.
Okay, good. I was like, Robert was like, it's not going to be at 323 in Henry, like Main Street or whatever.
And I was like, brand I made.
That's what I thought. I was like, no, this is the brand, this is the vibe. But I was just making sure.
And when people ask where you got your name, I can tell them the very first studio I ever opened.
So ultimately, you know, if we had to sum all this up, you're saying when somebody makes a decision that they're going to invest in boudoir, they need to kind of do some homework and not just pick the first person they see willy-nilly. A, because they could get potentially scammed, which is worst case scenario, right? But B, you just want to find somebody that like you mesh with really well.
Yes.
And by doing that homework, that means like websites, not just social media. I think, you know, anybody can make a social media page, and no shame to people that that's all they have. But I think the fact that you have a website and it's a beautiful website just kind of shows your clients like how much like you're serious about this. This isn't just like your side hustle. This is your business, you know?
Yes.
So look for websites, and like, of course, tons of great pictures are on your website, as well as social media platforms. But then, gosh, make sure
testimonials.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We call them love notes.
That's cute.
Join if a lot of boudoir photographers, not all of them, but a lot of them, myself included, we have the private VIP group where you can be added to. There's a link on my website, and it is full of testimonials from women who have come into this studio and sat in your chair with me, sat with Amanda. So, I mean, if you need any type of recommendations in there, then I would say join the women's group.
Yeah, for sure. If obviously, like, if they need to be able to talk to somebody in person, we've already touched on that. Not that I mean, you won't get to talk with her every single question you have, but at least, you know, if they're the willingness to do so, and it's not a, well, I can only talk via text. You know, that's a big old red flag.
Right.
So, gosh, what else is, I mean, I think when people make the investment and decide that this is something they want to do, it's worth, you know, some digging and some homework, and almost like being your own little detective, you know?
The biggest thing with deciding what you want out of your photo shoot and finding someone that you vibe with is you don't want to walk into a studio with an expectation of, I want these kinds of images, and then you get the opposite of that. And during the shoot, feeling uncomfortable because you're in poses that you don't want to be in, or using props that you don't want to use.
Absolutely.
I always ask, like, how spicy are you wanting to get into?
Right.
These are the different props I offer. Do you want to use any of them?
Yeah.
People who have looked at my work, I always ask at the end of a session, is there any pose or picture you've seen that I have posted that you want to capture, that you absolutely loved?
Yeah.
So that I make sure that they can have that image.
Right. And you said you were chocolate, so like dark and moodier and spicier maybe. But ultimately that level of spice is totally up to your client.
Right. They're comfortable.
That's totally
100%.
customizable, you know? Whereas she may be chocolate, and like if we're talking vanilla in the vanilla sense, I might be somewhere in the middle. So I might not want to use, you know, the whipped and chains and the fun stuff, but something maybe still a little spicy, but spicy to me is, you know, spicy is going to mean different things for different people. Yeah.
Right. So sometimes I get messaged Pinterest photos, which there's nothing wrong with that because I get on Pinterest for mood boards and decor and all the things.
Yeah.
and I'll get asked, hey, can we do some pictures like this? And it'll be like way left field from my personal style.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I couldn't recreate that.
Mm-hmm.
It's that you came to me because you like what you saw on my website. You liked my work and my eye.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tell you, no, I'm not going to go that route with the photos. That's not my style.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't like the style or I'm trying to be rude about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you're hiring me for a reason because you like my work. And
Right.
I like to stay in my lane. Now, we can branch out and do fun things that I've never done before. I love doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what it is and if me as an artist and creator
Mm-hmm.
feels like I can dive into that for you. I'm not going to say,
Right.
yes, I can do that and then go cookie cutter it
Right.
for you.
No, I think that's one thing that like really drew me to you is like as an artist, as a creator. I'm also an artist. You know, makeup artistry is an art, and so the fact that you're willing to like, as long as we're communicating, we can collaborate and everything's good. And I think you have that
Right.
same, you bring that same energy to your clients, and it's like if you kind of let me know what your vision is, I can help you achieve that, but also within a certain realm,
Right.
You know, within certain parameters,
Right, 100%.
Yeah, no. So I think finding a photographer that you mesh with, not just like on a personal level, but on an artistic level and
Yes.
on a vibe, like, do
Yes.
they pass the vibe check? You know, everybody has a certain vibe that they're going for, and you want to kind of be synced in that. You know?
Yeah, 110%. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's kind of what everybody should look for when they're looking for a photographer, you think?
I think so.
Also, if they have a makeup artist on staff.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely look at hair and makeup
Yeah.
for sure. I know some boudoir photographers don't have a actual like hired on hair and makeup artist.
Mhm.
They kind of like reach out to different people within the groups to
Mhm.
hire someone that day, which is fine. I'm not throwing shade on that at all.
Yeah.
But I will say I have two that are hired on that have been with me long term, and you guys have magnificent portfolios with wide range of work.
Mhm.
So they can get on there and see the images that you have done and the different styles and looks. You've done bright colored neons
Mhm.
to earth tones
Halloween.
to, yeah.
I mean, we've done.
You've done some awesome Halloween.
Thank you.
makeup.
That's one of my
Yes.
favorite
Mhm.
realms to
The
be in.
half skull face
Sure,
that
skull,
you
yeah,
did.
that was a good time.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I think just like photographers, you know, you have your own kind of style, your own vibe. Makeup artists do too. And so when a photographer is just constantly kind of having to grab just different people that they're able to grab and they have access to at that for that particular session, it's like you don't have like continuity in work because you're having somebody. I mean, while I of course am going to accommodate my clients' visions and like their wishes, I still have a style just like you
Right.
in which I work in.
Right.
I try really hard to not like eat your face and try to just like accentuate what's already there. Like that's kind of the whole point of my job and kind of boudoir in general is to show you what you bring to the table.
Right.
And maybe just bring it up a little notch, enhance it, you know?
I could be squirrel braining a little bit right now.
Go for it.
But
Squirrel.
I would say also, where are they taking the pictures at? Like, I am brick and mortar, have a studio. Are they renting an Airbnb, which I've done, not throwing shade on that, but check out the location you're going to.
Yeah, I mean, that's
For
just a
sure.
safety thing for sure. As women
Yes.
going somewhere where you're going to be naked, like,
Yes.
let's make sure it's a legit place.
We are across the street from the police station, and we're going to be across the street from the police station in Omolgi. So,
yeah, so
we are
safe. We are safe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're a safe place.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's super valid. Didn't even think about that. But
Yeah, it just popped in
absolutely.
my head as you were talking.
No, I love it.
Not that I wasn't paying attention to you.
Squirrel away. I squirrel all the time. Yeah.
Brick and mortar, yes.
That's a great point as well. So yeah, I mean that kind of sums up like I think doing your homework when you're going to do the investment that is boudoir. We're talking about
Couples.
the
Blind date session.
the blind date session, which is going to be so sick if we can just find a hot male participant.
Mm-hmm.
But then also this Saturday we do have, speaking of like hot male participants, we have a couple shoot
Mm-hmm.
up here, which I'm excited for. It's a repeat client,
Yes.
the woman, which
Yes.
repeat clients, they just like, I love them. Because it's like you've already gotten to kind of bond with them once.
Yes.
And so then to have them back in your chair, you know, they can tell you, oh, I love my hair and makeup last time, or hey, can you do this maybe a little differently, or whatever. Just like the feedback that they can give you creatively is really cool. But it's just like it's like seeing your friend again that you haven't seen in a long time.
And their comfort level
Yes.
is so much better. So we
Mhm.
get to do more fun poses. We get a little more risky usually with some things. So
And the client's coming up Saturday. She was just a gem. I mean, most of the clients are gems, but like I adored her, so I'm excited to see her again. And the fact that she's now bringing her partner with her is going to be super exciting. I've done a couple shoot, and of course she shot it for us. And this was, where did we shoot? It was the Restore House in Broken Arrow. And my husband at first was like, so not on board.
Which, for some reason, that seems to be
The trend.
Most partners, for some reason.
Men are not about it, which, I mean, I think all men should do boudoir, as well as couple sessions, but
yes, I'm a total fan of boudoir.
heck yeah. Like, you know, given
Stop sending your eggplant pics.
Yes.
Get some boudoir photos done and put those in the DMs.
Heck yeah. I would much rather see a tasteful boudoir any day than the dick in the box. Yeah.
For sure.
No, absolutely. But yeah, so, yeah, side note, do boudoir. But if you don't feel comfortable doing boudoir, okay, come up with a lady friend, a wife, partner, spouse, whatever, because it is so much fun.
Your best friend that you want to be your partner.
Oh, hey. No, like, Rob and I had the best time. I definitely took a little convincing, but then once he was there, he was like, that was, like, the best date we've ever done. It was, because, you know, especially as parents, like, you're so busy with kids, with work, with just the stresses of life, and it kind of gives you, you know, when you, like, I don't know about your dates, but, like, usually, you know, we'll go out to eat, and we'll maybe, like, we'll do maybe a movie or, like, some sort of activity, you know, go scooter. I mean, but how many dates do you have where you're literally purposefully having, like, you're being intimate without being intimate, but it's like making you're reconnecting. It's making you touch the other person in a loving way, but it's like playful still and silly and giggly. But it just, like, we had that session at a time where we really needed that reconnection, and it was such a good thing for us. It was fun, but it was like it was good for our marriage, truthfully. And to me, you know, having longevity in your marriage is crucial, but it's also hard. Okay, let's get real. Like, so that really helped us connect again. And those pictures I will cherish forever too. Like, I love them.
And then you screenshotted and printed them.
Okay, you know what? I didn't know at the time so when Destin sends you a gallery, y'all, when you send you a gallery, don't do what I did, which was I loved all the pictures. And I was like screenshotting them and then cropping them, and then I took that screenshot and I printed it that way instead of there's a download button.
Yes.
That will download and not impact
the digital file.
Yeah, do the high resolution, like the whole shebang, right? That way it doesn't impact your
I was telling another client how to do this, and Jazzi was like, I'm sorry, excuse me. Say that again. Like, how have you been doing it? Screenshotting it. I thought there was an easier way of doing this. I'm like, oh,
God,
okay.
I would love getting my gallery. I would look so forward to it. I'd be so pumped. And then I was like, man, this takes fucking forever, you know? Because I have to screenshot each individual picture, and then I have to, like, crop it. And I'm like, man, this takes so long. Yeah, no, download. Do yourself a favor. Just
so funny.
Download one button. Yeah,
yes,
that's a good
squirrel brain.
That's great. I love our squirrel brains.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
But I mean, really, it does help give you, like, the opportunity to kind of hit pause in a world where you're just, you're just going.
Right.
Whether you're parents or not, it's just it's fast paced. Adulting is hard, okay?
Yeah.
Like, so, and I think too, one thing that I liked about the images that you took of us, it's like, even though, like, we did get some inspiration from, you know, things we've seen online and what have you, it still felt like personal to us, and it felt like in a way she was still, like, uniquely telling our story, you know?
Yeah.
So I really liked that.
I think when you're looking at doing a couple session and you're trying to find a boudoir photographer, bring something that is unique to you guys. Whether it's like what you wore on your first date, or something that, if you have a certain kink both of you like, we can incorporate images to display that or use props. But I don't know, bring something that is uniquely yours. And I feel like that it's important for the boudoir photographer to kind of get a feel for what kind of spice you're wanting to capture. If you're wanting something that it's just like cutesy, you're in your Hanes underwear together, and maybe not nudes, but implied nudes. Yeah.
Despite what, I mean, obviously, you say you don't have to be confident, you just have to be brave and show up for your shoot. I think the same thing applies to a couple shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're bringing your spouse with you or your partner with you, having to get two people in that mindset, I'm sure for you is a little harder, but you're just so easy to be comfortable with. And you did such a good job of I've shot with you a million times, so I was already comfortable, but making Robert feel comfortable too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does feel comfortable, especially you'll have us hug and kiss on each other, but you start out kind of slow and you build. So that comfortability builds as you go. It's not you don't dive off the deep end and be like, okay, let's do this picture. You start small and build.
And everyone knows pictures can lie.
Absolutely.
And that is the same with boudoir.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at my couples sessions and you're like, oh my God, those are really saucy, spicy, you won't see the hysterical laughter before and after we took that picture. So it's not a very serious setting the entire time. We're laughing and making jokes.
And some of the pictures, just with boudoir, where a lot of the pictures are implied nudity, even if you're have bras and panties on, whatever underneath. Same thing with the couples session. A lot of the pictures may be a little suggestive or spicy, but it's implied too. I don't know if I can say this. Edit this out if you need to. But there's a picture where Robert's sitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on my hands and knees facing this way. I am probably a good foot from anything that I could potentially excite, right? But in the picture, it looks like I am,
getting after that eggplant, girl.
There you go. Yep, looks like that. But in fact, I am not. Also, Mom and Dad, if you're watching, please stop. Please stop right now. Yeah. So, yeah. Or if my children ever find this one day, God help. Yeah, no.
My kids are gonna be ruined the day they find my Instagram. They're gonna come home and look at me weird. I'm gonna be looking at them weird. And we're not gonna say anything, and we're just gonna know. I'm gonna be like, today was the day.
Today was the day my children found myself six. Yes.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Behind Closed Doors, Self-Love Unfiltered. If you're not following my social media accounts such as Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, you can do so by going to my website, www.studio323ok.com. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you on our next episode where Stevie, a client and good friend of mine, sits down on the couch and we discuss mental health, self-love, and how boudoir can help boost that self-esteem.